Listen, let me tell you something about this Knicks team. They have the identity. They have the physicality.
We could wake up and the Knicks could be in the conference finals. That's a thing that can happen.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome in. It's Empire State Hoops, Season 2, Episode 5. Cinco is the number for this week. I'm Adam Rothschild, and alongside me, that is Matt Vargo. And today's episode of Empire State Hoops has been powered by Sport Pros USA. For more information, visit sportprosusa.com or call 877-HOOPS-NJ to make your dream court a reality today. So, it's been an interesting week of New York Knicks basketball.
It has.
Out of the All-Star break, back-to-backs, refs going crazy, coaches screaming at refs that we'll get to later on, and a lot of games to recap. We have one game to preview that's coming up tomorrow. That'll be the Knicks against the Golden State Warriors, which we'll get to as well. So, starting with your beloved Philadelphia 76ers.
Not playing very well right now.
Yeah, not playing well right now is what the 76ers are, and they lost to the Knicks. This was this past Thursday. The Knicks stepped up. Brunson was there. Bogdanovich was there. I believe he had 19 or 20 in that game, but overall, the Knicks with the steaming hot meltdown of the 76ers.
It was pretty predictable because, like I said, this team without Joel Embiid, they're just not that good. I mean, I know they brought in pieces, but thus far, it's a lot of new pieces. They haven't really meshed together. It's like Tyrese Maxey was really the only guy who stepped up for Philly at 35, but nobody else got into double digits in the starting lineup except for Buddy Hield. Tobias Harris stunk. Brunson, Hart, DiVincenzo, they were steady. Achua also had some big minutes for him. And, I mean, I'm not going to say just because the Sixers were injured that they lost. No, because the Knicks were injured as well. Obviously, OG's not back. Randall's still not back. Forgot about Bogdanovich also, like you said, huge off the bench. And it was about what you would expect. Pretty simple, drama-free, kind of a I'd say it was kind of a blowout. I mean, for the most part, Sixers kind of, brought it back a little bit, but overall, nothing really too dramatic. And, yeah, they won. Yeah,
it was really that Philadelphia got the game down to 6 at one point in the fourth, but the Knicks pretty much just pulled away in the end. You had Jalen Brunson carrying the way. Bogdanovich has been the big story as well, and he dropped a lot of points in that game as well off the bench, and has been a very reliable player. And Alec Burks as well, can't forget him as well. Even though just coming over in the trade, he's been good as well, having him back on the roster for the first time since 2022.
Yeah, like I said, if they're ever gonna go on a deep run, now is the time to do it. I mean, Boston, it seems pretty unlikely, and we'll get to that game eventually. But like I said, why not? Because it's like Cleveland and Milwaukee, and there's really, you can like both of those teams. There's nothing to absolutely love about either one because, like I said, the Knicks beat the Cavs and the Bucks. I mean, they've started hot out of the break, but I can't trust any Doc Rivers coach team anymore, man. I can't.
Yeah, that's really how it's been now. Obviously, with Doc Rivers out of Philadelphia and Nick Nurse in there in the place, things have been different. The Sixers are not playing well right now with Joel Embiid being out for a while now. We're not sure when he's coming back for the Sixers, but now getting to this next game here, they come in on a Saturday matinee against the number 1 seed Boston Celtics. You have Brunson playing, but the Celtics found a defensive strategy, and it was just like opening night back in October. The Celtics did the exact same thing, and they poured it on because they're 9 games ahead of the 8 seed right now in the East. So there's no slowing them down. And we mentioned this earlier about them possibly clinching the playoffs. It's going to happen very soon.
Oh, yeah. They're 8 games clear of Cleveland, who's the 2 seed. The gap between Cleveland and Boston is almost as large as the Timberwolves gap between them and the 8 seed. The Timberwolves only have a half game more of a lead on the 8 seed than the Celtics do have on the 2 seed in the East. Boston, I mean, listen, also pretty inevitable because Boston, for all of the injuries across the league, Boston has been pretty healthy. Porzingis, who, as you know, famously shaky with health, he's really stayed healthy throughout the whole year. He feasted on the lack of interior defense, especially with all the front court injuries. Jaylen Brown played very well. I'd say Tatum pretty good all-around game, even though he only had 19. And when Tatum's just not having to be the savior, this team is dangerous. And I cannot stress how crucial Drew Holiday has been for the Celtics. Replacing him with Marcus Smart with him, great move. Again, not a lot of depth, but it doesn't matter in the postseason as much when you have that great of a starting five. If they can get somebody off the buyout market, I don't see how anybody in the East can bring these guys down. And as for the Knicks, it was, again, like you said, simple plan. Let Brunson have his, don't let anybody else come for the ride, and we should win. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, yes, they did give up a lot in that trade for Holiday back in the offseason, but boy, has it worked out for the Celtics. I mean, having a defensive presence as your point guard, that is unbelievable. That's something the Knicks don't have with Brunson, though, even though he's good on the defensive side of the ball when it comes to drawing charges and stuff like that. But really, in this game, you really didn't have a lot of help. Brunson was really the only difference in this game. The Knicks didn't really have any other players stepping up. Boston just kind of pulled away. The Knicks were hanging around for parts of the game, but Boston pretty much just pulled away in the end.
Yeah, I think it was pretty close at halftime, but then, like a lot of things, the Celtics, third quarter, once they smell blood, they just stomp all over you. They pulled away, and the Knicks just couldn't really bring it back after that. Not exactly a shameful loss by any means because, again, all the injuries while Boston's healthy. It's just, I'm intrigued to see how they match up with Boston when they are healthy because, I remember correctly, they haven't beaten Boston this year. What are they, 0-3 against them?
Yeah, 0-3. So I think they get them one more time, I'm pretty sure, unless this was the last time.
They'll get them one more time.
Yeah, because they played them 4 times.
Yeah, and I believe it would have to be in Boston because they've already played them twice at MSG. So
yeah, it should be. This last one's going to be in Boston most likely once they get like a East Coast road trip.
Yeah, if I'm trying to look it up when they do play them again. Yeah, it'll be on April 11th, just like the third to last game of the year. If you can get everyone healthy and hope, knocking on wood, Celtics are healthy too. And then finally we can see, with all the additions they made, see how you match up with Boston. As of right now, don't like their odds, but again, let's wait and see when everyone's healthy.
Yeah, Anunoby is scheduled to get back very soon. I heard Shams was mentioning something about him possibly coming back very soon. So they're saying within about a week or so, he's going to start shooting the ball again. And hopefully a few days after that, get him back on the floor. But as for Julius Randle, it's going to be a little bit longer, I think, especially with the impact of that shoulder. So that's really what it's going to be with him. But this next game that happened on Monday, boy, oh boy. I didn't watch most of this game. I put on the fourth quarter. I'm like, oh no, they can't. They're not losing to the 8-win Pistons. They can't lose to the Pistons. Quentin Grimes dropped all his 14 in the fourth for the Pistons. And listen, this is how I was feeling after they won. That's how I was feeling. Okay, I was doing the snub. Okay, I was screaming like DiVincenzo. Okay, that's what I was doing. But just watch. I'm gonna let you guys watch what happened at the end of this game. Take a look.
Brunson looking. Guarded by Cunningham. Fontecchio looking to help. Brunson, three-pointer. Off the mark. Rebound deflected. Chased down. Saved by Grimes to Fontecchio. Knocked away. Hartenstein picks it up. Out to DiVincenzo. 10 seconds to go. He throws it away. Ball loose. Picked up by Brunson. Brunson inside the Hart. Hart's banks it in. Out of foul. Knicks take the lead. Monty Williams is furious. He thought a foul should have been called. There was so much contact. But Josh Hart with the big bucket and a free throw coming out.
But yeah, you get the idea here. So Monty Williams after the game, oh my God. Like what his reaction was, I think it really says for all of us, the refs have not been on point, especially after Pat Beverly last year when he was with the Lakers, pointing at the camera. It's right there, buddy. Technical foul, Patrick Beverly.
Like, okay, I don't know if this one is quite as bad. Actually, no, I think it is just as bad as LeBron, like, getting swatted by Tatum, and it's a clear foul. I mean, I don't remember who. I think it's Asar Thompson who has the ball.
Yep.
And again, like, they got the defensive stop that they needed, and it looks like, was it
It was DiVincenzo.
Yeah, DiVincenzo, just clear as day, just runs into him. And I get why he's doing that. You got to foul him because Detroit's only up 1, so just foul him quickly. They'll go to the line. And Asar Thompson, not a great free throw shooter. He'd already missed 2 in this game already, so let's just see if he can get it from the line. If he makes them both, so what? We're only down 3. We have another possession to try to tie the game, but I don't know what the refs were thinking. I understand, like, down the stretch, you want to have them just play it out, but that was totally egregious, and Monty Williams had every right to be as livid as he was. Is it the worst call of the year? I mean, I can't think of any other call that was this egregiously bad. Like, not even when the Knicks got shafted by Houston was it that terrible. But this one was just, oh man, the NBA's really got to look into some of this stuff.
You got to feel for Pistons fans. I mean, even though winning 8 games this year and having Cade Cunningham drop 32 in this game, and the interview after the game from Monty Williams, probably the quickest head coaching interview I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Take a listen.
Where's the New York media now? The absolute worst call of the season. No call. And enough's enough. We've done it the right way. We've called the league. We've sent in clips. We're sick of hearing the same stuff over and over again. We had a chance to win the game, and the guy dove into Asar's legs, and there was a no call. That's an abomination. You cannot miss that in an NBA game, period. And I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of our guys asking me, what more can we do, coach? That situation is Exhibit A to what we've been dealing with all season long, and enough's enough. You cannot dive into a guy's legs in a big-time game like that and there be a no call. It's ridiculous, and we're tired of it. We just want a fair game called, period. And I got nothing else to say. We want a fair game, and that was not fair. I'm done.
So that was some interview. Boy, I mean, Monty Williams was just so upset, and I mean, we agree with this. He's absolutely right. The refs are just not on point with this, and the crew chief actually admitted after the game that it should have been a foul. I mean, listen, as much as I wanted the Knicks to win this game, call the foul. I don't care. They need to learn from that. If the Knicks lose that game, it's something they'll learn from, but they just got lucky.
Yeah, if you're a Knicks fan, much like the Cowboys when they played the Lions in that whole fiasco, like shout out like a little NFL reference right there, you just make like a bandit and run with the win. Brunson obviously was great. Hart and DiVincenzo also very well, but that's also a big problem is that
Great job, Detroit.
Yep.
Detroit is doing it. I mean, the Lions were better, but good job, Pistons. We're proud of you. I'm sorry for shafting you at MSG, but great win in Chicago. Good job. Anyways, we'll take a short break here, and we'll be right back to recap the Pelicans game from the previous night, and then get you ready as the Knicks will take on the 2022 champion Golden State Warriors. We'll be right back.
Hey there, basketball fans. Are you ready to take your love for the game to a whole new level? Well, listen up. We've got something that will make your hoop dreams come true. Introducing Sport Pros USA, the ultimate destination for all your backyard sport court needs. Whether you're a diehard Knicks fan or just looking for some slam dunk fun with your family, Sport Pros USA has got you covered. Picture this. It's a sunny afternoon in New York, and you step out onto your very own custom-built backyard basketball court. The court where legends are born and memories are made. A court where you can unleash your inner baller and shoot hoops like your favorite Knicks players. But it's not just about basketball. It's about family, friends, and fun. Whether you're hosting a game of horse with your buddies or teaching your kids how to dribble and shoot, Sport Pros USA brings the magic of the game right to your doorstep. Our courts are more than just a place to play. They're a place to connect, bond, and create unforgettable moments. And with Sport Pros USA, you can have it all, right in your own backyard. We're not just building courts, we're building dreams. Dreams of buzzer beaters, comebacks, and endless laughter. So why wait? Give us a call at 877-HOOPS-NJ or visit sportprosusa.com today to start designing your very own backyard basketball court. Remember, at Sport Pros USA, we believe that every home deserves a court, and every family deserves the joy of playing together. So don't just watch the game, be a part of it.
And we are back here once again. This is Season 2, Episode 5, Cinco of Empire State Hoops. I'm Adam Rothschild. Alongside me, that's Matt Vargo. And now it's time to recap our final game of this episode before we preview a game. This being the New Orleans game. The Knicks played on Tuesday night.
Yep.
And it was the second game of a back-to-back after Detroit, which we just talked about that whole fiasco. And this game, you had no Jalen Brunson. You had no Hartenstein. You had McBride at the point guard spot. And you had nobody stepping up. Brandon Ingram is too much. Zion Williamson, who we talked about as being injured in the past, he came through at the Garden and delivered the Pelicans a neat victory.
Yeah. I mean, the Pelicans, it looks like the plan's finally coming together with Ingram and Zion being the 1-2 punch. They're fifth in the West. Although the race from like 5 to 9 in the West is absolutely insane. I think they're only 2 games clear of the Lakers. No, 2 games clear of the Warriors or Mavs for the play-in spots. But once again, this is exactly what you'd expect. You're basically down your 3 best players, no Randall, Brunson, or Anunoby. And with that kind of injury depletion, of course Zion and B.I. were going to ball out. I mean, I would expect Valanciunas to play a little bit better for the Pelicans, but can't really complain about it. Also, what is it? Murphy dropping 26, oh my goodness. But for the Pelicans, it was about as easy as it could get. For the Knicks, obviously, you want to rest your guys. That was a very emotional game against the Pistons, very grind out. It shouldn't have been, but it was. So you just eat this one and move on with your day. Get ready for Golden State.
Yeah, that's really all you got to do. And I mean, for New Orleans especially, things have been working out as planned compared to last year. Plus the year before, they were in the playoffs against Phoenix in that first-round series. And they had a lot of, players that nobody knew about, like Trey Murphy or Jones and Alvarado. So they're keeping those guys intact along with CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. So this core is working together and staying well, and I like what they're doing. But the West is just so competitive with so many teams, and Dallas is one of them in particular who we talked about in the past. And speaking of Dallas, choke job last night in Cleveland. Boy.
I don't even think that's a choke job. I just think the miracle shot, the shot of shots, God bless the Cavaliers to get that win. I mean, the fact that they lost on that is just brutal. They did everything right except win the game off something like that. So that's kind of tough to swallow.
I just remember after P.J. Washington got the layup, he was walking down the court still celebrating. Max Strus right behind him just goes, yeet, bang.
Yep.
Just
and
bang.
Then he's just I would too. That's rough, but I don't know. Sorry, Mavericks fans. That's pretty tragic.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean that's probably one of the best midcourt shots you'll probably ever see in this generation of basketball from a guy that is probably one of the better shooters in the league, Max Strus, and that was pretty unbelievable. And now getting down to this, the Golden State, the best shooter in God's creation, the man. Is legendary. He's 35 years old, still playing basketball at an all-time level. But Golden State is trying to turn around. They got off to a slow start during the season. And have been under 500. They had the whole Draymond Green situation. They brought in Chris Paul. He's been injured. He just got back off injury, and he's back in the lineup now, I believe.
Yeah, he is.
But
he's back.
What is it going to take? This game's on TNT, I'm pretty sure. But still, Golden State is good, and you can't underestimate them at all because they're the heart of a champion.
Well, yeah. The thing is with the Golden State, they're just a really old team, a lot of veteran players, and like I said, other than Steph, a lot of that nucleus, Draymond, I think he's doing fine now, but when he's not putting people in a chokehold or swinging at guys who are just playing defense, and Clay, I mean, it sucks that he got moved to the bench, but he's making the most of it. He just came off a 25-point game against Washington. And like I said, Golden State, they've been getting a lot of dubs. None against like true title contenders. Like they lost to the Clippers right before the break. They blew that big lead against Denver a couple days ago as well. But momentum is momentum, and it's definitely something that we'll see if the Knicks can counteract with. Again, they're beat up. We'll see if the chef can take over the Mecca once again. He set the 3-point record there, so we'll see what he can do.
I wouldn't be surprised if he does some more magic here at the Garden, and the Knicks are going to have all hands on deck for this game because you need your stars for this one. They're going to need Brunson. They're going to need Hartenstein.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh Hart, getting back to the Pistons game real quick, Josh Hart was the key factor in that game.
Yeah.
23 points and DiVincenzo at 21, so the Nova boys are going to have to step up, so that's going to be another key thing going into this game, and defense is going to all over the place. You got to lock the outside, know that they're going to be shooting the ball a lot because they roll with the small ball lineup, and the weird thing about Klay Thompson being off the bench and not even being an all-star this year, nobody expected that going into the season.
No. The thing is that Klay, obviously, he's had, I mean, it's not to be completely unexpected. I don't know exactly how old Klay is. I think he's around 34, 35-ish. Obviously, when you're at that age, you're obviously going to be closer to the downswing of your career. And throwing the fact, like the ACL tear, the Achilles rupture, he's been through a lot. Obviously, the shot doesn't go away, although it's a bit more shaky than it's been in prior seasons. But obviously, his defense is just never going to be there anymore. So he kind of has to just adapt to kind of what his body is capable of. If it means being a sixth man on a contender, sure, why not? Like, for example, like if I were a team like, well, obviously, because Klay's a free agent this year, right?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah, in the offseason.
We'll see what he decides to do. I think there's a chance he could leave Golden State, maybe try to go for another ring or something. I'd be shocked if he did do that, but I mean, sometimes you just got to come to terms with where you are in your career, and I think Klay is like slowly but surely starting to realize it.
Yeah, I think it was once he came off the Achilles injury in the 2022 season, going on that championship run. I think that was the last glimpse that we're probably going to get of, like, superstar Klay Thompson because he's getting up there in age now where it's like it's time to fade away, and he's been there for all these championships, 2015, 2017, 2018, 2022. He's a 4-time NBA champion. He's won the three-point contest. He's done a lot in this league. He still has time left, but it's really up to him to decide where things will go. But as for the Knicks going into this game, you just got to be ready for anything because Golden State can still play very competitive. And having Chris Paul off the bench behind Steph Curry, how much better can that be? Because even though Chris Paul is up there in age now, he can still handle the ball. He can still make great passes, get his teammates open. So he's also good with that as well. And Steph Curry is the same way besides the shooting.
Well, the thing is with Chris Paul, I mean, obviously for locker room chemistry, it's better than him than Jordan Poole. I'm pretty sure Jordan Poole actually got benched in one of these recently for Washington, which is kind of sad, but also kind of, I don't know. It's been a fall from grace for Jordan Poole, but for Chris Paul, like obviously he's been hurt for large chunks of the year. We never really got to see the Warriors play at full strength. Now, I don't think that they're going to go far in the postseason, but if you're the Knicks, just the greatest shooter alive, second greatest shooter alive, although coming off the bench, Draymond, championship coach and Steve Kerr, Chris Paul, been there, done that. Obviously not going to be an easy game, and we'll see if the guys can step up because with all the injuries, I mean, someone's got to do it.
I mean, especially after almost losing to an 8-win team, you really got to feel the pressure going into this game. So,
and also after getting routed by New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, especially going routed by Zion. So you really have to come into this game with a lot of confidence, especially coming out of practice. So we'll see if the Knicks do that. And it's really going to be an important stretch of games. They're also going to have Cleveland coming up eventually as well, followed by Atlanta, Orlando, and then the 76ers once again.
The final time, I believe.
That'll be a back-to-back at home in New York.
Yep.
So that'll be a back-to-back. They'll get one day off in between that, of course, but they'll be doing that as well. But anyways, this episode of Empire State Hoops has been powered by Sport Pros USA. For more information, visit sportprosusa.com or call 877-HOOPS-NJ to make your dream court a reality today. So, the Knicks got the champs coming up. Then they got some more games coming up. As we said, it's going to be Cleveland, Atlanta, Orlando, and Philadelphia. So a bunch of top teams in the East right now that are lurking. Orlando's been the surprise, like you've said already this year. So they're going to be up and coming. I'll be going to a Nets game down in Florida over spring break, so they're going to be playing the Magic, so that'll be fun to watch because my brother's a Nets fan, so we'll see that.
Well, that's tragic to be a Nets fan in this day and age. They just fired their coach, and then they got worse after they fired Jacques Vaughn, so...
Yeah, I feel so bad for my brother. Shout out to Ethan Rothschild. He is a glorious... He's been a Nets fan since the Paul Pierce days and the Darren Williams days. Ethan, keep being loyal. I know you got Mikal Bridges. You're good. Don't worry. It's all good.
You mean the first Nets super team that failed of KG Pierce and Darren Williams? And then they brought in, think about it, they had 2 super teams that failed in a span of like 10 years. The KD, Kyrie, James Harden team, and before that, Paul Pierce, KG, Darren Williams. I'd argue, which one do you think is worse, by the way? The which one do you think was a bigger failure? KD and Kyrie or the KG Pierce?
Well, the first one was worse because you had 2 guys who were 36 or older in Garnett and Paul Pierce who come from Boston.
Yep.
And you know who those draft picks ended up being, right, in that trade?
Yeah, Jason Tatum and Brown.
So then Brooklyn Nets could have had Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, but no, they did not have that. Ethan, if you are watching, I am so sorry. I love you, bro, right? It's all good. It's all good, man. But anyways, we're going to close it out here on episode 5, season 2 of Empire State Hoops. I'm Adam Rothschild. That's Matthew Vargo. And we will see you next week. Have a good one, everyone.
Peace.